Okay.
How long have you guys been coming to
Ready to
these
go.
meetings?
Okay, are we up and running? Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports. Oh, minutes and reports received and filed. Do we have any?
Yes, you do. Okay, we have the sheriff's fees for December 2014 filed, and then the county treasurer's monthly reconciliation report for December 2014.
Commissioner Committee Liaison Reports.
Political and Economic Responsibility Committee meeting for the Board of Realtors this afternoon. Have their Board of Directors meeting tomorrow. MAC Board tomorrow at 10. Sam, if you want to go sit in on one of those and just see kind of what's discussed at those meetings, you're welcome to.
Okay.
Well, you are too, Chris. If you
Yeah.
want. Campo tomorrow at 12:15. If you want to sit on one of those, I might do that up to you too. Fun.
We're gonna get over that here shortly.
Yeah, I got
Got
that
the
list.
gala Friday night. You going to the gala?
Yes,
All right. Send me a seat.
okay.
We have an access control discussion later today. And then there's an MMRPC Area F Homeland Security Oversight Committee meeting today at 1:30.
You're on that committee, right?
Yeah, but Bill kinda does the Homeland Security stuff and Larry does the tax stuff.
I was
And-
saying he may wanna go check out one of those meetings too,
Right.
to see what they're doing. Watch
And,
sausage get made.
And I'm supposed to be on KMIZ Thursday. Did they ever call you guys about that? So,
Hmm.
Thank goodness.
Okay, I got Cap Region Board meeting tonight, tomorrow morning. Thursday morning, I'm gonna go over and visit Michael over at the Miller Center. I went over Friday afternoon and met with the assessor and met his staff. And Friday night's a chamber gala. That's all we got. That's upcoming meetings, commission comments.
I'll save my comments for
Nope.
later.
Okay. And we had closed session, unfinished business.
got anything, Debbie?
New business, accounts payable review.
Okay, I would like to tell you, within accounts payable, there's two bills that have sometimes been a debate in there, which is the National Association of Counties. It's $1,520. Asking if you guys will approve that. We use the National NACO to buy our office supplies. We get a huge discount using them. More than the $1,520 cost us to be a member. So I'm asking within accounts payable for that. Also, in there's Missouri Association of County dues, which is $8,521. So if you guys are all okay with those two invoices, then I'd ask for approval of accounts payable.
That's for the year.
Yes, both of those are annual dues.
Okay. Well, I must have missed the MAC one, but I did pull out the NACO one, just let everybody see that. And then I did pull out the bill for the ambulance, the new chassis, and so that was $97,900. Then I pulled out a couple others that I just wanted to look at, but other than that, I didn't have any problems with accounts payable. Anything you saw, Sam?
No, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, it's the first one for the year, so it's a little bit bigger.
Okay, so do we want to keep the MAC and the dues and the National Association of Counties?
I've pretty much always been an advocate for Mac. I know Mark wasn't.
Mark wasn't, but,
NACO, I think, is well worth it. They've got their card too, their prescription card too, so.
We've actually bid stuff through NACO for parts and stuff, and it really helped us, or didn't have to bid, they had it out there on bid, so we was able to get it at a big discount, so.
I know Jeff's on the MAC board, and that was a point of contention, and I think a lot of these things I struggle a little bit with what is the value there, and you know, sometimes things come up like the ballots and stuff here this past fall. And, you know, so that stuff kind of just hits you right in the face, and it's like, well, where was MAC? Where was the Clerks Association? Where was these things? And so, anyway, that frustrates me a little bit that we have these people that should be catching some of the stuff and making us aware of it, and we find out after the fact. So, but overall, I think the organization is worth belonging to. So,
Do you get their email, or do they have it, they still hard copy that?
I send an email too.
Because they'll outline some of the things that are over there in legislation that we deal with. Some of it's not anything to do with fiscal amounts or anything, it's just points of contention, I guess. But the fiscal ones, we gotta kind of keep an eye on ourselves, because they do represent the county as a whole, and some of these are fights between different departments or elected officials.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of stay out of those.
Yeah, and that's the part that I don't care for much either, is they don't want to get in the middle of an argument between the commission and the clerk, or the commission and the assessor, or whatever. And I understand that a little bit, but at the same time, we're approving those funds. So,
Well, that's what we're gonna see Cam for, though, is if we're gonna fight the collector. We're not worried about him.
we'll fight him at the end of the year.
Bring it on.
Bring it, yeah, you can say that.
I move we approve accounts payable.
Second.
Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Okay. Approval of elected officials and department heads restructuring and/or merit pool for 2015.
You have a list of what we're going through? or-
Yes, I'm sorry. Just do you have that?
Jen, are you on the agenda today?
No, I just
Okay.
got some breakfast and then saw this guy on the street, so I
Was he
had to
out there?
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
come with him. Though you did your best to lock me out of the building, I found a way in.
Oh. Which door was that? We're gonna check security.
The
Okay,
front
I was
door
just making sure
afterwards
y'all
was
weren't
unlocked.
waiting, because I didn't see anything on here, and I was,
No, it's just always
Okay.
so entertaining to come to these that I thought, hey, let's come listen for a while and see what the county's doing.
take that as a compliment. Please do.
Well, actually, I got all the departments listed there, and the amount of the pool that was budgeted for them, and the amount that they've used, according to the pay forms that I've received. I don't want to name names, so I'll try to leave that out as far as you go. You know what you did with your department heads, and I'm sure you have evaluations there. Yes, we signed those. And the county commission, which involves 4 people. I don't know if you want me to say all this stuff or not, repeat how
As
it
long
was
as you
given
don't say
out.
names, I think you can, if you wanna point any of them out, you can.
Okay.
If you want, I don't know, what's your pleasure, guys, how you wanna do this?
In general, I mean, I don't know if you guys can kind of see if you got questions on any certain one. In general, I don't really like an evenly across the board merit increase. I know that the clerk and the recorder did that, and I can see that with two newly elected officials coming in and not really knowing, who's worth what. The only problems that I really have is, I look at this list, is the prosecutor, child support, and the assessor. And so the assessor just wanted to do an even distribution to all, which means he didn't do a evaluation. And the prosecuting attorney and child support look like they're giving all their money to attorneys. And so I question whether they did an evaluation of all employees as well. Everybody else I'm fine with.
And this box is completely full of evaluations, so, and if I wrote in that second column, yes, that they have evaluations, then they do. The only department that really I did not receive an evaluation on is the sheriff's office. He's keeping those in his personnel file for some reason, but I do have the way he did evaluate the merit. But as far as each individuals, I do not have, but everybody else in the county I do.
So you did receive evaluation forms from the prosecutor and the assessor?
Yes. And again, we asked for their restructuring. I mean, even in the health department, 9 people received it, so one was substantial, but there is information in here backing that up.
Yeah.
So I'd like to look at the evaluation forms for the PA and the assessor, and then we can move on this discussion, unless you guys want to approve it as is.
If you wanna take a look at it, when do you have to have these back to get them on this month's check?
Today.
Why do you do that to us? I need you to approve this today.
Well, we're working on timesheets already for EMS today, so it's just January, I don't know.
Let's just move it down to the back of the agenda, and if you can
Yes.
dig those out for me.
Yeah, because,
Okay.
they're elected officials, so realistically, I think they can probably do what they want.
No, they can't.
Can't they?
No, that's why we put,
Don't have to put the money in.
that's why we put the money in AmeriPool.
Yeah, they're not in their budgets.
You haven't put it in yet.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take that back. I do not have it on the assessor. I just have a one sheet.
I'm fine with putting it down at the bottom of the agenda, we'll come back and address that,
Okay?
once everybody wants to put sausage get made.
No, let's move forward.
Okay. Okay, discussion of committees, boards for the commission.
And again, that's that list for you guys. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look that over and made a decision on that. It's a highlighted list of,
Yeah.
Did we change anything?
there's lots of that Mark was on that we didn't want to assume that. Sam-
Yeah, I don't have any problem. I'm going to the Chamber of Commerce board meeting next week.
So you just take the one from Mark?
Yeah,
If you
I'm
have
right. I think
conflicts,
for right
just
now,
let us know.
I'll just keep that, and then we'll see.
You got any you wanna get off of, Chris? You wanna throw in any fun or anything? You wanna put on the new guy?
No. I mean, at some point, you may want to be on the Salute to America one, or I don't know, maybe you don't have time to do that. Maybe that's a busy time for you downtown, so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No.
but I'm okay with doing it for now, and so.
Okay, well, we'll update the ones that Mark was on and put Sam, your name on all of those, and
Yeah.
then we'll see what's left. We're still waiting on some. I know maybe it's somebody in the planning commission.
Yeah, so I've got somebody in mind. I called, left him a message, and I have not heard back from him. I'll call him back.
Yeah, I had talked to Jill too, because I guess the library, Claudia Schoonover had contacted us because they've got 3 openings on the library board from the
Yes.
county. And I've got an email here from Adam Viley. And he is interested in serving on that board. So I don't know if we need a motion to appoint him to the library board, or if we just,
Where does he live at?
he lives out in the county.
Okay.
And Jeff, she wants people who do not live in.
Live in
the
J-
city limits of
yeah.
Jeff City.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, they gotta be outside
So
of
if
the
you
city
know
limits.
anybody from
Where's he
out-
live
Yeah.
at?
I don't know.
Is it he can't be inside of Jefferson City, or he cannot be in an incorporated area, because the planning commission is the same way. We got lots of people that serve on, but if they live inside of Lawrenceville, St. Thomas, or Taos, I mean, we lose a lot of people.
This is just inside, she calls me on all of this, this is just inside the city limits of Jeff City, because they have people appointed to, and she told me there's a waiting list of people who live inside Jeff City wanting to be on the library board, so they really want the county
Yeah.
appointments to be outside Jeff City.
I think
So
Lyle Rosberg is, out in Loman, he's leaving, so,
We got 3 of them that are expired right now, so
Yeah.
they not wanting on there anymore.
I'm not sure if the bylaws, if they can serve more than one term, I don't think so.
I think they can serve as many terms as they want, but they're expired, whether we haven't
Right.
filled them because we have not had interest in it.
yeah, Lyle is not interested in staying on there.
So we need to put that one as vacant. What about Randy? Any idea for Vicky?
I don't know them,
We can call and check.
and just see. I know Lyle, I talked to him because I thought maybe his wife, might be interested, and he said no.
No.
No. So,
Well, we can definitely check with the other two to make sure if they're wanting to extend their term.
yeah,
No, if you know Lyle does not want in, then I would be, do you want a motion in to go ahead and appoint him to the board? Because these other 3 are basically vacant.
Yeah.
Expired. So we either need to reappoint them or else. Or you want to put down the next agenda?
no, we can, Adam is interested in serving, so talking with Jill, she said we can just appoint
Okay.
him if we want.
Good with Adam, Chris, and? Are you good? All right.
In general, I don't really have a problem with him. More so a problem with his dad. So,
Well,
That's why he waited till after Mark was out.
well,
Beggars can't be choosers. We don't have people
I
staying in the
I understand.
circle.
I understand.
He's trying to help the library board out.
I understand.
Get some people on that board.
So, no, I don't have a problem.
Or do you want
So,
to wait and see if we can find 3 other people or
No.
whatever, so.
we got people willing to serve. It's like you said, we don't have people standing in line to do it. So, so
I'll make a motion, we appoint Evan Miley to a 3-year term for the Joint Public Library Board.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I will contact Adam.
When you get ahold of the library board and find out, then
Sure, we'll call them.
the other 2,
See if they
you
still.
said Lyles.
I can
Lyle's.
call Claudia,
Okay. If you would, that'd be
Get
great.
in contact with him on things.
You know, Lyle's the chief financial officer, JCMG, and I just saw in the paper where they took on another group, and then he's one of our sheriff's deputies, and he was working the Little Theater play this last weekend. He's got more irons in the fire than you can shake a stick at.
The MAC board, Jeff, I know you're on that.
We appointed Larry last week.
You did?
Mhm.
LB,
Oh.
not LB. Your Campbell.
Larry's coming
That'll
out
teach you
to
for
see.
not showing up at the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait till you see the Campbell, when we appoint those, like, chair for that, he's there.
That takes care of quite a few. We'll let you know about the other one, so we're good.
Okay.
That it then? Hey, looks like Jeff said he got his solo, it was awarded to us.
Oh, good.
Sorry, nobody else cares.
No, I do.
Everybody-
I do. That's,
Oh my God,
I think that's
it's a
great.
good thing. I was curious, we didn't get to go to that press
Okay.
conference on that, so.
Signing of statement of support for the Garden Reserve.
You guys haven't seen one of these? We received it.
Yeah, I'm actually one of their employees, so.
Oh, okay. And we
Can-
have it
can you
posted
sign
actually
that
right
then?
out here.
Well, as, I guess as presiding commissioner, I
We're
can't,
not
I,
giving them anything. it's
No,
a
we're just-
statement of support,
Mhm.
right?
yeah.
Okay.
And we actually put it out there in the picture frame, so it's right outside
Yeah.
the office.
Okay.
Should be able to do it. If not,
Yeah.
you'll be getting some papers. saying
So
we're
seeing
gonna-
Sam signed it, I guess I'll move that we
Oh.
sign the letter for support.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Debbie's good at that. Sam.
Okay, okay.
Stuff is right.
And then we have a signing of a surplus title.
This is one of the trucks we had bid last year. We finally got it in. This is a truck we traded in on. It's 2001 Ford F-550,
Okay.
and it's junk.
So we're gonna scrap it?
No, it's going to be traded in. I don't know what they're gonna do.
We
We just, We were just thankful it made it till, it was still running when they, got the new one in,
So is
so
it really a surplus title, or we're just signing the title?
just signed the title.
I move we sign the title for the truck to be traded in for a new truck.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving right along. Contract for approval for the Whether or Not services.
What we've got is the contract for weather services, which is site-specific for our county. We've had them for a number of years. This year, they have asked for an increase of $446. It would take the total to $15,528. We pay half of that, which would be $7,764.
Who pays the other half, Larry?
The city of
City,
Jefferson.
okay. I mean, we approved the contract for Whether or Not,
I'll second.
Need a roll call on it?
probably.
Yeah, roll call.
Sam,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
approved.
Here's contract. And Joe has reviewed it. On the email addresses, Mark used to be one of the 6 that we had that got the email for the weather. It's actually more detailed. I don't know if any of you all got the one that you get as text message, but this one's more detailed. I didn't know if one of you wanted to replace Mark on our email list for this.
I'm already on there, aren't I?
Now, you're on the text part of it.
was
I
gonna
get
say,
emails too.
That's what I was gonna say, I get some kind of email on it, I thought.
So they must have, they don't show you on the list. It just, myself, the
That,
ambulance
you get it every day, don't you?
Yeah, every
Yeah,
morning,
that's what I,
5 a.m.
Each day, 5 and 2,
let me see if.
Hmm?
Same
2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let
Okay,
me,
all right.
Larry, is this what it looks like? The alerts at weatherornot.com?
No, that's our A plus. That comes in, we've got where I can physically add you to our list.
Oh, this is a different one then,
Yeah,
okay.
the one that comes in,
All right, I get the text or something, I get this one.
yeah.
anything else?
So what is it? Is it different, or is it?
It's just more detail. It's, looks like, yeah.
Oh. Heck. We only get 6? Tell them when I sign a contract unless we get 8.
Well, I can double check with them and see. We've just not.
So do you get both, or you just get
Yeah, I
one?
get both. So,
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, that's pretty neat.
I'll check with
We
them and
got
see if we
nothing
can
else on the
add to
agenda,
it.
right?
Yeah. If not, no big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Just gotta know if we can go fishing or not.
Did you
Now,
find-
back to the fun part.
Yeah.
Go
Did you
back
find those
to,
evaluations or not?
His. I got this.
So we don't have any evaluations from the assessor?
He said he gave it to us back in January. And we redid the last year. That's his little comment there. That is the prosecutor's. Each person's evaluations. And if you want, you can go in closed session and talk with each individual, if you'd like, before you approve them. Since I didn't really, I mean, we go in closed session.
I would really
I'll
like
tell
to
you.
see him do it differently. And to grade them or whatever, and not just all across the board the same, but I don't know. If we give him that pot of money, it's his pot of money. If he decides that's the way he wants to do it, that's just the way it's gonna be done. I mean, we do have a say in it. We don't have to give it to him. But how much you wanna micromanage the office is kind of up to how we wanna do that.
And I actually have the transfers made out from each fund back to each department because of these, so definitely you can go into closed session and talk about individual people if you'd like.
think first gotta decide if we're gonna hold it up if they don't do it. Do you wanna go that route or not?
I don't know why the assessor is having theirs, because they really didn't have the appraisers.
Where'd you have the salaries at, Debbie?
It's out there on the, and that would be an easier spreadsheet to look at, to see what really has happened. It's out there under the budget for 2015.
Under commission,
Yes, and an FT.
okay. Commission's budget,
And then
Okay.
the spreadsheet on that.
15.
Each department, under the merit money, so you can quickly glance down
I'm
through.
not finding that there.
I think it's this one.
Work in progress from commission. Okay.
Which one?
Yeah.
You want what?
No,
Oh,
no. Like I said, I'd like to see it done a certain way. I'm just giving
Well,
a pot of
that's-
money. If they think there's things that need to be fixed, it's an opportunity to fix it.
And that's
Just wanna
kind of
go
the way,
across the board.
kind of the way I approached it with them when they called and asked about it. I said it's merit money to fix any restructuring or a merit pool, whichever one they do. And some of them did a little bit of both. Some of them fixed a certain position for certain people, and then they did merit with the rest. Everybody did a point value system, most of them did, and depending on how people scored on the point value was where, how much of the merit they received. Chris, did you actually send over any appraisal of each individual
Evaluations.
person?
No, it's still, they're restructuring,
Restructuring?
yeah. It said and/or,
Uh-huh. So just the, okay. So I did not receive any from their office or sheriff.
well, when we got the things, we only had 7 days to take care of it.
No, you could have more time if you wanted, they just
But
wouldn't
then
get the money.
January's money's gone.
Right,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, it does put you on a time crunch there to get it done if you wanna do it a different way, so essentially you'd be punishing them for 1 month of the pay raises if you didn't get it in on time. We may look at doing that differently next year if we have a proposal on how we wanna do it. Just historically, that's the way we've done it, and that's kinda the way we did it this year, was we waited till the last minute to decide what we were gonna do on the
And we did say we
pay
thought we
raises.
started earlier, especially when the budget goes to the auditor, started then. I know we've always tried to wait to see what money is left before we decided what to do with salaries, so it's kind of a balancing act.
Yeah, I think we could have done it earlier this year because we had seen our sales numbers and we knew pretty much where we were at, even if they would have been down a little bit in December.
What fund
we
is
would have
that?
been okay,
What fund is that?
but
PA?
we get to the end of this year, I may change my mind and say we're gonna wait till the last minute
Yeah.
to see
I
what they
couldn't
do.
find that. I couldn't-
See, to me, they're elected officials and they run their offices the way they want to run them. I, that's maybe not the way, that's not the way we did it, but I don't want to really tell them how to run their office.
Thanks, Jan, we'll see y'all.
Well, I realize that, but I couldn't get that other one to pull up. So it wasn't, I couldn't find the general out there. I mean, I'm only one, you guys can do what you want, but.
Oh, I
I'm just-
wanna know, we
So,
I'd rather hear what concerns you have and what recommendations, or try to be all on board with this.
Debbie, are all these under the PA?
Yes, and there's two of them under child support.
Okay. Are they listed separately?
Yeah, do that a
Mhm.
little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay,
In that
they're
same
different,
spreadsheet.
okay. So, the way I see it, he's got 15 employees, and I got 9 evaluations. So, how do you divvy up merit money when you only evaluated 9 employees? So,
On whose?
this is the PA. And I'd have to look at it a little bit closer, but, I mean, so he either didn't evaluate 6 people, and so, or he didn't turn them in.
3,000, 2 girls.
I'm not sure if you evaluated any of the attorneys. The attorney didn't know.
And then did you have child support in there as well?
It should be in that same bundle.
So in this same bundle? So here's,
Probably only did the
okay.
he gave us.
There's Holly.
You wanna call him and have him come down here and see if he wants to talk about it?
I
We
mean,
got Chris in there if you wanna talk to him about his.
So he's just done it to the attorneys. Right? Oh, Christie.
she's up here.
She's an attorney.
Mhm.
That's what secretary you gave her to.
Okay,
That's an attorney.
okay.
Yeah, that's attorney and child support.
Okay, so she's on child support? That's
That's
her.
an attorney.
Yes.
Attorney. She's the other one. So,
Okay,
who's an attorney? Who's that? Stacy.
she's an attorney, right?
So he just did it for the ones that received a merit? That's child support.
And if you guys wanna, I mean, the reason that I voted to put the merit money in a merit pool was to make sure that everybody did an evaluation. And if you needed to restructure, and we did that within some departments, we restructured a little bit. But in general, I have a problem with giving everybody a flat amount. Because not everybody, I mean, if we were gonna do that, we might as well have given it a 4% COLA. I mean, we could have done that and just eliminated
But then
any
we would've
merit
took
money.
the control out of the other elected officials that wanted to do some adjusting, so.
Well, I realize that.
I mean, I see what you're saying, but if we give, and Chris, I'll use the example, you're here and you did that, you gave everybody the same amount. If he truly feels that's the way it should be split up, then I'm not gonna go in there and tell him no. He's got the evaluations filled out, so
If I
we
could
gave him an opportunity to make any
just
adjustments.
say one thing, I've got nobody in my office who's not given out 125% since we're shorthanded. And having 7 days to do it, if you wanted something more specific than what you got, and you wanted evaluations, the option was to either do the evaluations or send a restructuring. It's and or. So that's why they came up like they did.
So basically, everybody has done, except for the assessor.
Then on the prosecutors, you said that they only had the 9 evaluations, because that's only 9 getting
The merits, so he,
the merits.
some of his
So you
people
figure
did
that
not,
out.
some of his people did not get a merit raise.
No.
So out of 20 people, we got 9 evaluations. Basically with the prosecutor's office and child support.
prosecutors and 5 in child support. There is one open position in child support now, though.
Do we want to tell Mark that he needs to distribute that money among all 20 of his employees? I mean,
I'm not saying that.
no.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, I think we had a little bit more than 7 days, but, I mean, I could be wrong. But, I mean, we sat down and did all our departments, which was 10 employees, and we did it in, what did we do it? An hour?
An hour, yeah.
An hour and a little bit of other time maybe for each other, and then we sat down with them this morning. So he had 20 employees, and as I look at these evaluations, there's no comments. He basically went through and circled some stuff. I mean, you guys could look at these, but I just don't think he spent a whole lot of time on them, and he, you know, basically wanting to give her all the raises to all the attorneys and all his other staff. He's not getting squat, and he didn't even evaluate them. I mean, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair from an employee standpoint, that you don't know if you're doing a good job or if you're doing a terrible job. And of course, you know, when we looked at it too, people that make more got more of a COLA. They got more dollars. It's still 2%, but it was more dollars for the COLA. And so,
Yeah.
and now so the people that are probably making more money in his office are getting more on the COLA, and they're getting a big bump. And if it was a restructuring, that would be different. But to me, I see it as an incomplete evaluation. But like I said, I'm just one, so.
Well, call Mark and have him come down here and talk to him. We've got, I mean, are you okay with the assessor's office? Or do you disagree with that one as well?
Well,
If-
yeah, I went over Friday and met Chris and met his employees. He's got a good staff, so it would be hard to say that one is worth more than the other. I think they're all good. I think, you know, I asked him, you know, how long have you been here? And 17 years and 12 years and 33. He's got one new young woman there, but I mean, she was doing her job too. So I think all in all, your staff, it'd be hard.
All right, you've been here long enough, now I can throw a
Okay.
rock at you.
Okay.
If that's the case, then that's what we should have done with our directors. Each of our departments, we should have gave them each the same raise. I'm playing devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
so. I see where Chris is coming from,
Yeah.
and I see where the assessor's office,
Yeah.
Chris is coming from. Personally, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't wanna give them the raises because Chris chose to do it evenly across
Yeah.
the board. That's the way he chose to do it. I prefer that, you know,
Well, and we do ours differently, but
right. That's how we chose to do it,
yeah.
so.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that a step further. The reason that I voted to put money in the merit pool, and I'm gonna pick on the sheriff here a little bit, not,
He's not here, so.
yeah,
perfect.
so, anyway, so the sheriff has how many employees?
80.
80?
Counting him.
80?
80, yes.
Okay. So we put $1,000 per full-time employee in the sheriff's budget, $80,000. If we would have stuck it in his budget, he could have given that money to any one of those people in $5,000 or $10,000 increments, and we couldn't have done a dang thing about it. And I've sat up here long enough that we've seen people leave that made a high salary, and we've seen elected officials come in and hire somebody in, at that high salary again, rather than starting them at the beginning. And to me, I haven't seen it warranted that some of those people should have came in at those salaries. They should have started at another level. They should have started at the beginning level, just like we do out at Public Works. They started at the bottom, unless they have some certain skill that requires them to come in at another level. So that's why I didn't just say, okay, here's your salary budget, do with it what you want, because I'll guarantee you that's what would have happened. And so, you know, I'll give the recorder a pass, I'll give the collector a pass on an even distribution, because you didn't do evaluations because you weren't here.
Yeah.
But it's not fair to all the other people that did an actual evaluation, came down with points and a score, and assessed those dollars accordingly. I mean, some people spent some time to do that, and so, I mean, it's not right. I mean, if you let it go this time, what's to say next time that everybody will say, I'll just do it evenly. It's the easy way.
Now, for the departments that did call me, I said, this is your only chance this year for restructuring. Don't come back in the middle of the year saying you want to fix something when you have merit money now to fix it. But that again was our departments. You know, doesn't mean that some elected official isn't going to come back to you through the year and say something's wrong again with their structure and they need to fix it. So
We're not gonna fix it all right now with this pool, but it was there to allow some departments, elected officials to make some fixes. And I would like to have seen everybody do it, but if Chris feels like he doesn't need to split it up differently to make some fixes, I don't know if we can say, okay, I mean, yes, we can say we're not gonna give you the money. We can easily say that. I don't see it that way though. I think we told him this is kind of what we expect, this is what we'd like you to do. He looked at it, he didn't see it that way, he just wanted to do it flat across the board. It's kind of his choice on that part of it.
Well, why don't we call Mark Richardson, have him come down and kind of explain how he selected this, and
But he didn't give everybody the same.
most all the attorneys got the same except for one.
I know, but he's got 16 employees, 9 got raises.
Mhm.
Okay, that'd been the same as if we would have took the department heads and said, we want to fix a couple of things. We want to take 6 and give them raises, and the other 6 are not going to get raises, and try to close the gap between them. We didn't really specify what had to be on the evaluations. If you look at my evaluations, they're pretty plain and simple too. I don't get into them a whole lot. I did put some notes on there, you know, expectations, stuff to improve for the year and things, but I didn't get real crazy with them. If we expect that, then we need to let them know. But I like it a lot better than doing just COLA, I'll tell you that much. Because it does at least give them opportunity to maybe close any gaps that they needed to fix or anything they had, so. If he
Yeah.
chooses not to, then go ahead.
Can I make one comment? You talked about making some adjustments. That's what I did last year, to make adjustments. I had 2 supervisors who were low, actually 3 supervisors who were low, and they got adjustments last year. And that's one of the reasons that it was flat across the board this year, because some of those adjustments were made last year.
There
whatever you guys wanna do.
So which one is, I mean, what's the biggest issue? Is the ones that just clean flat across the board, or with the appraisal or the evaluations?
Well, I mean, I look at all these others on the merit pool, and some of them didn't use all the merit money. Some of them gave more to others than they gave to some. And so, I mean, in general, as I've dealt with my employees, not everybody's equal. I mean, that may be the case in some places, but there's always people that do more than others. And so, it's just not an even split. And so, I don't know, that one frustrates me. And then I just don't see, we've got 20 employees between the prosecutor and child support, and I've got 9 evaluations. That's incomplete. I mean, if that's what he came up with after he did all the evaluations, or he wanted to make some adjustments, that's great. Or tell me that you're making the adjustments, but that's not what this says. I mean, I don't know how he gave, so as I look at this, it says all the attorneys received $2,000 and one received $3,000. And then 2 employees received $700, or 1 employee received $700 and 1 received $300.
Did we tell them how we wanted it structured? Did we say there was a specific way to do it? Because it was done a ton of different ways. So,
Most of them use the valuation form that I supplied. There are some departments that have their own. Public Works has their own. EMS has their own. The sheriff has his own. Which again, those are point systems, which those do work very well, especially when you have a big department like they do. Juvenile, they did do a point system based on the one that we supplied them with. So again, even in juvenile, I'll pick on them. He restructured 5 employees that were in the same title position, and then 15 of them received merit, and there were 6 that received no merit at all. So he had a structure that he was going with, plus then he evaluated and gave out the merit. So there was a lot of process into that. So. Some departments are very small, so it's not too much there you can do. Larry, did you actually have all your guys come in and sign off? Not yet.
Not yet. We're waiting to see if the traces are approved. We're gonna do that so we can tell them.
I think by not putting it in their budget and waiting till now, it does help you 2 things. It helps you, for what Chris said, make sure that all that money isn't divvied to one person.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also makes sure that, get them thinking about, you're not gonna have any more money the rest of the year, this is it. You need to fix your people, you fix it now. So, should it happen earlier in the budget process? Yes. And I hope next year it would go out earlier. But, we've always had the indication of wait till the end to see what money's left.
what did you say before that about putting the money in, not putting it in, fix it now? You lost me.
Main thing of not putting the money in ahead of time with the merit, like we've kept it out, we've kept it in the reserve, and now they've submitted all their paperwork, and I'm gonna transfer the money back into their department
Right.
to do this. That helps make sure we see what they're gonna do before we give them the money, you know, because we're seeing the pay form, we're seeing the
Okay, I
claims.
see what you're saying, is that
And-
we see what's going on before we just put it in there.
Right.
Michael, you got a question?
One of the things I asked Debbie was, as for the restructuring, I wanted to make sure, first question was, you think we might get this next year? Because there was one segment I wanted to restructure, but I knew I didn't have enough in order to do it on both sides of the house. So that's why I chose the area where I had the most difficulty in maintaining staff and trying to take care of that, and then look at merit across the other side. So if I had the opportunity next year to have this happen again, I'd look at the other side of our of the house and restructure that.
We have you all underneath of the commission, so we can make you do it a certain way. And this was kind of our way of making the other elected officials do it, so I don't think it's a question as much as department heads, so. How much micromanaging are we gonna do of the other elected officials' offices is what's gonna come down to. We kind of put it out there and said, we'd like you to do it this way. We've got one that didn't, and he's indicated that it needs to be split out evenly. Are we gonna go back and say, nope, we're not gonna give you the money until you change it? That's what we're gonna decide right now. I'm not apt to say that. I think we gave him an opportunity to do what they need to do with the money. That's what he feels like he needs to do with it. You know, so be it. That's the way you feel about it, Chris. That's the way we probably need to go ahead and do it. It's still our money. We have it in there. We
Yeah.
don't have to release it, but I don't feel like we should punish the other employees over there because we want it done a certain way. I don't know. You know, if I was over there, would I do it any differently? Would I take it and, I don't know. I'm not there. I mean, we had an email the other day. I'm not in your office, so I can't say that it would have to be done that way.
I don't really, I understand where Chris is coming from, and it's mainly more the prosecuting attorney than it is Chris. You know, you're gonna have some who are just basically gonna get merit and
Just get the COLA.
just get the COLA, I mean, and not the merit. But again, it's Mark's department. I don't know how, you know, morale-wise, what that'll do, but I don't really want to micromanage their departments.
That may have been
So-
what he was doing, was saying these are the ones that need the raise to fix some discrepancies.
Yeah.
And use that money to fix it. It wasn't so much the evaluations, because his evaluations, he may say that somebody rises well above the cream of the crop and is up here, but you know what, I'm sorry, I'm only gonna give you a COLA because I need to try to get these salaries in better position. Well, we can probably argue it all day, and in the end, I'm probably not gonna change my mind. I'm fine with it. I would like to have seen a little bit different on a couple of them, but unless you're adamantly opposed to it. I know you don't like it, but
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't think we want to micromanage any department, but at the same time, we made a decision at the end of the year that we weren't going to add any FTEs. And so, in essence, we're deciding how many employees they have in all their departments. And we gave them a merit pool of money to try to either fix their structure or to do evaluations and give those people money based on their performance, which is what a merit increase is supposed to be. And the first year I was here, we put in merit money too, and a lot of people gave it flat across the board. And I will never agree with that. And if we were to do it next year and the collector and recorder came back to me, I would say, nope. I wouldn't give them any.
Clerk.
Yeah.
Clerk, sorry. Yep, clerk and recorder. Or I'd say, take it back, do a more thorough evaluation and show me how and why. Because if we continue down this road of just doing things that are easy, we don't have any structure countywide with any of these positions. And all the positions should be equal, whether it's in the clerk's office, our office, down the recorder's office. If they're of equal skill, they should be of equal pay. Now granted, some people are going to make more because they've been here longer than other people. That's a given. But, you know, I mean, we don't go by the Archer study now, but we still look at it. We still use it somewhat. But if we don't have some kind of structure, I mean, there are always going to be people that are going to get paid more than others just because of when people leave. And that's not being a responsible elected official and doing what's right for the taxpayers of Cole County. And that's all I'm saying, is that when we hire people in, we hire them in at a certain level, and they get their raises as we proportion it. But we can't just continue to do what's easy. I mean, there's certain things that are not easy, and certain decisions that have to be made that aren't fair and just. Like Mr. LePage would say, it's not just. But you know what? Life's not fair, and I tell my kids that all the time. Life's not fair. Suck it up. Get over it. So.
Well, I feel like Chris is an elected official, Larry's an elected official. We give them their money, and it's up to them to spend.
Whose money are we giving them?
Well, we're giving them taxpayers' money, but
That's right.
it's still their departments, and
I think what's happened is the structure does get out of whack
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
Because some of them are not as responsible as others. And then where do they come to when things are not
Yeah.
right? They come back to you.
well, we're just a lot more responsible here.
Well, I don't know about
Commissioner.
that, but you got the money, so that's why they come back.
Well, I mean, we can pick on the PA a little bit more too. You know, I mean, he's got some people making some pretty big salaries, and
Yeah.
and that's all fine and dandy. And then that person decides to leave. And what's he going to pay the next person that comes in?
They need to take them down to the
Yeah.
starting.
Well, you haven't been here long enough,
Yeah.
because he's going to bring them in at that high salary that, you know, he's going to promise them the world and bring them in at that high salary. And maybe they're worth it, maybe they're not. But, I mean, I've never had anybody come to me and say, except Kristen. Sorry, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. But she came in and talked to us and said, hey, I've got this person that's very qualified, you know, has all this education and everything else, and this is what I want to pay him. I didn't have a problem with it. But she came to us and asked, and that's, you know, there's always going to be instances like that. But anyway, I don't want to take all day, but if you guys want to vote, we'll vote.
Wanna make a motion?
Motion to
To accept,
approve the merit increases.
approve the merit increases as presented.
Yeah, I just wish we were all on the same page with it.
Yeah.
And I believe Chris truly feels that each one of his employees gives 125%, and that's why he wants to divvy it up, and he doesn't want to try to, you know, close up any gaps or anything, and I'm fine with that. If we want to say that next time you have to have 50% of your employees get X amount of a raise, 25% get Y amount of raise, and 25 gets 0, I probably won't vote for that because I don't like doing that.
Mhm.
And we tried to do something like that a couple years ago or last year. I did not like it at all. So,
There's a lot of morale problems.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like it at all. I mean, it's different with the government than it is out in the public sector, so.
I mean, I don't have a problem if we go to a point system or something, but it's not even. I mean, and EMS did a point system, the sheriff did a point system, and those raises were based on the points. And I think it's a more fair system, but you can't just give everybody a 10 and say, okay.
But some of your raises aren't just based on the evaluations, though. They're based on if you're trying to fix some discrepancies. I mean, we have some positions that we felt have kind of been kicked to the side over the last couple of years, should
Mhm.
make more money. They either came in low or hasn't been fixed. They have several employees that they supervise. It's different things, added responsibilities. And if you have an office where we felt they all did a great job, and all their evaluations said they all did a great job, we should have just went straight across the board with the raise. But we didn't because we were fixing some discrepancies. Now, if they weren't there, we would have had to pick and choose.
I don't have a problem with fixing the discrepancies, but
But if there were no discrepancies, if it was where it was supposed to be, or we felt it was there, we got a dozen people in here. I guarantee you have probably 12 different opinions on it.
Right.
So, a bunch of type A personalities too, so really be different. And Debbie's,
What?
Okay.
nothing. So, if you're not adamantly against it, we can sit here and we can pound sand all day long. I just got a meeting at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
You made a motion?
You did.
Oh, okay. I made a motion.
I'll second. I just want to make sure you're not adamantly
Okay.
against it. If you're wanting to pound sand some more, I got all day almost.
Almost all day, huh?
If we want to do it next year, then we can make it merit and we can put in the stipulations. I mean, them evaluation forms are so antiquated anyway.
Yeah.
Where'd you get those from? 1920?
It came from the Archer study.
They've been here since I got here.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Roll call.
Sam,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Well, we have such a diverse group
I know,
of people here. It's hard to get
I
an
know where
evaluation
you-
that fits everybody.
I know where you're coming
You
from.
got a special one that fits what you can do, so, yeah.
I will say that we need a better evaluation thing for next year, and maybe we can get that started in November.
Yeah.
And just for the record, even distributions from here on out, I will vote no every time. So anyway, I don't believe in that, so.
Well, then, let's get a form that, if we're gonna have it, it is a point-based system, and maybe the old evaluation system is,
We can put points on it.
If we can get it out earlier too, that gives them more time to,
Well, if they want to specify for their type of work, like road and bridge work is so different than any clerk up here, that's why they specify that for the type of
what are you gonna do
work
if
they
it comes up even?
What do you mean?
You have 4 employees and they all come up with a 96. What are you gonna do? You gonna pick them out of a hat? You get a raise because I drew your name? Oh, you don't? She loves me? She loves me not. I mean, how you gonna do
Departments
that?
do it, I don't know. They
Michael?
That's the
say
thing is you don't,
7%.
there's no specific way to do it without us being there.
Would it be possible next year, when we start doing the budget, we have a section off to the side? If there were a merit possibility, we would then design and how we would actually propose that?
I think that,
And that way it comes in and you would just assign the dollars to that?
I think it's good that everybody does evaluations every year, and
yeah.
at that point,
Yeah.
you can say, hey, if there's a merit raise, this is how I'm gonna split it up, you know?
Well, if you do evaluations yearly, then we've got it. Yeah.
Or you have a possibility of restructuring, because I looked at it on that side, but if I have money again next year, I would look at this side to do it, and I'd have enough to do it all the way across. So I chose which one I wanted to start with first.
Well, what the hard part is one year we get merit, next year we don't.
Yeah.
So we evaluate somebody the year that they, and said, well, you're not getting a raise because you need to improve here and here. Okay, next year we don't have any merit money, we'll have first thing, why the hell even try? You know, I made the changes. I didn't,
And I see where you're coming from, and so I think that's a little frustrating, especially in government, that, you know, they don't, so, you know, that as we become more efficient, and as we are more efficient, and we can continue to do stuff with the same amount of employees, that leaves a big pool of money, if the economy's good and things go well, that we can give raises, and I think it's important that our employees understand that, is that, you know, as we're responsible and, you know, and conservative, and we spend as minimal as possible, that there's extra money at the end of the year for next year for raises, so.
I think you need to hold everybody to the same standard, though. Hell, I didn't have time to do evaluations either. That's actually my busiest time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it
I got
is.
$58 million that I distribute by January the 15th. But I did it because I knew that's what you all requested.
Right.
Why the hell should I do evaluations if somebody else isn't, and you're still gonna give them the money? That's
If your evaluations all came up the same, though, were you gonna give them different raises? Or would you
no way
propose-
mine can- I really don't know how everybody's could come up the same.
I agree, but
That could be possible. And
I'm throwing it out there because it's, how
if
much do
have
you want
more-
us micromanaging your
Now,
raises?
I mean, I'm
on?
saying that based on the fact that I only have 3 employees. If you have 10 employees or 15 employees, it's very possible that several of them have the same evaluation. But when you only have
Well,
3,
not all
it's
of them.
pretty difficult to have everybody be the same.
Yeah.
I know from the way we did our evaluations, there was a point system.
I agree, LV.
You could have them all come up the
This is Taco
same.
Tuesday.
Do
Taco
what?
Tuesday where?
Spectators,
Oh,
$1 per taco.
do we have any other issues to come before the commission?
What'd y'all talk about the website meeting Thursday? I didn't make it.
It was a very good meeting. There was lots of departments there. Almost all the departments were there. Melissa and Dale kind of ran it as far as
So
I
how much
went.
are y'all wanting to spend?
Well, you know,
Uh-huh.
prosecutor,
You know.
a lot of them wanted to know how much you
Not a
guys were
good
willing to
answer.
spend, but
10,000.
Well, Dale was saying, what did he say, 20?
Dale just
20.
threw a number out there. They
Yeah.
won't touch it from what, I guarantee you.
At least what Dale was, and Melissa were talking about, is they wanted information from each of the departments. We're supposed to submit that by next Friday, I think.
yes. but-
So did it sound like all the department heads, all the elected officials will use the same format?
They were all interested. They were all keeping it open.
There was questions.
Okay.
There was questions like with the sheriff's department, Debbie, if they could link it, I think they wanted to use the homepage stuff of it. But, you know, with theirs, it depends on how easy it is to change daily, because they put on their guest lists every day or that are out there. You know, the court system, they were talking about their dockets change every day. You know, if they couldn't do it on that page, but they could still link it, then I think it could be worked through. We're kind of excited about it. We've been wanting to update ours for a long, long time.
And I think the gist was to make it user-friendly, a system that we can maintain ourselves, so we don't have to outsource that to anybody anymore. So, no, I'd say we're definitely, there were items that people wanted, supposed to submit, and then we'll probably have another meeting, so.
Well, I think what they were talking about doing is once they got the general idea, just putting it out, and just seeing what, you know, talking to some firms, just seeing what the cost would be, so we can, you know, have
Have a
an idea.
better idea.
Come back to you.
So you're gonna do RFQ instead of RFP?
I think it's too early to tell
Yeah,
yet.
just-
I don't think we could do.
I
a
think it
RFP.
sounds like it's an RFQ right now because y'all have no clue what you want.
Well,
Or-
We're gonna get that information from the different
You
departments.
got
We're not far
12
enough
people
along
with
yet,
12
are we?
different ideas of what they want, I guarantee it. Okay. I'll quit being negative Nelly on it, but it's your else's baby.
Eventually eventually be yours.
No, I'm just signing a check on it, 'cause I already know what
Yeah,
I
that's what I
would,
think.
I already know what I would do with it.
Well, I think from our point, we just want something that we can get in and make changes to. The system, ours, we did years ago ourselves, with some assistance from the outside, and the software is not supported anymore, and ours is behind, way behind. Wish we could hire Bluebird and Brown somebody. They, find somebody that knows their way around the web. That's the
Why
issue.
can't you? That's what my point is we can hire somebody local. We can have our home page just to have links to each individual one, then you can have your page. I didn't make the meeting.
Well, but I think we pay, some kind of an upkeep or a administrative cost for each one of those pages. Whereas if it was our own, we could host our own is the way I understand it.
Well, and for IS to be knowing how to help other departments, it would be nicer if they were all in the same format in order for them to be able to help. So,
Well, let's
yeah,
just
software.
see what they got and then they can come to us with a number and we can say yay or nay.
Okay.
Yep.
Any
That's
other
what I
issues?
told them that
Yep.
would be. I did receive a letter from a lady that's actually addressed to you guys. It's not addressed to
Is
you.
it thank you, for being such good commissioners? I don't wanna
So I'm sure we're gonna get more
About
of these.
LV, just something tickled me.
I'm sure we're gonna get more of these. I just
Oh,
want
yeah, this
per-
is, we're
permission.
aware of this.
Okay. I
Yeah.
want permission to put this on the agendas if we do receive any of these, or would you guys rather decide whether you want these on the agenda?
I'm fine with giving her time on the agenda. I don't see us
I-
abating or.
You're not required to put her on the agenda.
Okay.
No, we're not required to, but I'll give her due time in there if she wants to come here and just beg and plead for it. We can't do it.
We can't, you can't,
I don't
Well,
see-
she's already sent the letter requesting it.
Yeah.
I think you just need to take action.
I said, let's put it on the agenda and see if she wants to come and talk and,
So invite her if she wants to come.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
I don't wanna be mean about it, but I don't think there's any
No.
way that we can waive anything like that.
No,
I mean, LV's
you do it for
getting stuff
one,
all
then,
the time.
then you're gonna, we're opening up.
I mean, I think we'd be inclined to hear what she has to say, but I don't know that we're inclined to waive any penalties or interest, so.
I don't think we
I'd
can.
let her know. So,
I mean, this is pretty simple, and she says in her letter, she just forgot to pay.
Yeah,
mm.
And that's what she's gonna tell you, so I guess in my opinion. to
Well, she
take
doesn't
the-
say here that she's requesting a hearing. It just says she's requesting that we consider that she
Refund.
forgot it and would return all or partially the penalty and interest charged me. So just add this to an agenda
Okay.
and we can deny it or whatever at that point. If she wants to come up here, she can come up here. I think it's gonna probably be a waste of time.
yeah,
But don't we have to put it on this agenda item? We can't just do it now, can we?
okay.
No, I'd rather put it on
Okay.
the consent agenda. But I'm assuming we'll be getting more of those, so I just wanted to know where y'all
Yep.
want to go. So
I don't get very many of those.
No,
it seems like we.
We usually get one from LV because he forgets his or something. He forgets a lot of stuff though. That happens. It's okay.
And now there is one other.
Your eyesight
thing.
goes next, bud.
I know.
The county clerk
Huh?
and their election machines, they need to have an answer before the 27th. And so it sounded like you guys were potentially maybe having a meeting by the end of the week.
I thought we had an agenda
I thought-
item for him to talk about it on. Because we picked a different day than Tuesday because he has to go up to take his wife to the hospital.
Has to be
On
done by the
Tuesdays.
27th. So
Why has it gotta be done
what
by
has to-
27?
Yeah, what has to be
because
done by
the
the
maintenance
27th?
is gonna run out.
Why did we wait this long?
Well, Marvin will say he didn't. He came over here and talked to you guys about wanting these machines at budget time, so. I mean, I don't know.
but we had looked at Thursday and then Thursday wouldn't work and then we
Right,
looked at
Friday
Friday.
morning Worked with two of you.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I know, but why are we still coming down to the last minute? The 27th is next Tuesday.
right.
So we shouldn't have a week to come in here and talk about, what, 300 and 1,000 or $500,000 worth of machines?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What do we do when we're, what did we do during
So-
budget when we talked about it?
We talked about putting half in the budget.
Okay,
so we talked-
I remember talking about that now. So we're talking about not doing it this year, possibly the following year. We'd have half in this year's budget and half in next year's budget.
And he's saying that he doesn't want to spend the maintenance and has to have it in by some part of this year to be able to run the election in 2016. So
So what are they wanting to do by the 27th?
they need to know whether you're gonna approve the new machines or not. That's the way I took that memo or that email, or what did he send us? He sent us something, didn't he? Did he send you guys an email? Specifying the discount.
If
you know.
Marvin knew
Yeah.
that was coming down the line, that he would not want to pay maintenance this year, then that should have been brought up during budget to put all of this in this year's budget and do away with the maintenance. How much is the maintenance?
I get Marlo over here, I don't remember what his email is.
So the
He
maintenance
specified-
on these machines, I mean, even if we said go on the 27th, they're not gonna have those machines,
Here,
I mean, 6 months, I'll bet. So,
no, what was that? Yeah,
No, they'd have them by January 1 next year.
well,
Then
yeah.
they gotta do training and
But-
everything before the April
Okay.
election.
Yeah, but don't you have maintenance on your current machines for the whole year?
Do I need to go
For this
where
year,
he
but it'd be,
sent them?
I don't know.
what it said, basically?
Kind of. Do I need to go?
No, if you know it, explain to them about why we need an answer by the 27th.
Well, we have our yearly maintenance agreement with them on the voting equipment.
Okay,
So right now, they said if we would, they're giving us until like next week, because we haven't purchased it.
The
We can
maintenance.
buy it like for 6 months, or we can pay the full amount for the year. But if we're not gonna use the equipment after April, it seems kind of silly to go ahead and spend the full year's worth of money on the maintenance for just the April election. So we were just thinking if you guys had an idea whether or not we're gonna get the new equipment or not, for us to be able to use in 16, we weren't gonna spend the money on the warranties and stuff.
Okay, we were just refreshing my memory on it. I think the way we decided to do it, we were gonna try to budget half of it this year, budget the other half next year, and then that way we could have the machines in 2016, right?
Right. That's what we had kind of talked about, but we didn't know if that was a for sure thing. It's like, are we for sure gonna have new equipment for 16, or if we're not? I mean, it's like, we
So-
don't wanna, we can't pay for half of them in 15 and then you not pay for the other half of them in 16. Because we can't run, in 16, we can't use half our precincts with one kind of machine and half our precincts with another kind of machine.
Right.
So as long as we know, you know, if we can get half of them bought in 15, and we can get ourselves trained on how to use them, the poll workers trained on how to use them, if we know that's gonna happen,
and you can train them on half the equipment, the new
Right,
equipment we've
because-
got in, and then we get the other half in
in 16.
in 16.
But we'd
Then-
have to order them, because we need them for the March election, is the thing, so we'd have to order them, you know.
What's the
right
worst
away.
thing that would happen if we didn't go ahead with the maintenance? If we still took our time to get the machines? You could still run the April election without the maintenance? I'm asking.
Right now, we have equipment down there that needs to be repaired.
How much is the maintenance contract?
I
Okay.
didn't know I was
Okay.
coming over for that. I was coming to
Okay.
Melody. I can go and get the information.
Why do we have to have about 27th? What's the magic date of the 27th?
Well, the 27th is the certification deadline for the April election. That's what they were saying, if they would give us until then to decide whether or not we're gonna go ahead and sign, you know, for the maintenance on the machines or not. That's why
We don't have
they,
it by the 27th, and
then we don't have a warranty or any maintenance, and if something goes wrong,
what if we sign it on February 12th?
I would say then
gotta
we don't
do
have a
this.
warranty, and they said once we get rid of the warranty, we can't get it back. If we don't agree or sign something by the 27th, we can't say April 1st, okay, now we want the maintenance agreement, because it's null and void, and actually, we should have already paid for it, because it actually started January 1.
So we never got this on any kind of agenda. We were working on Thursday or Friday.
Right. That's what I was looking for. Was a date that
So even,
Steve could come.
so say that we go forward with brand new voting machines and we do half in 15 and half in 16. Probably you're not gonna get new voting machines till the last half of 15, I would assume.
Right, and I think on the, I'd have to look back on the paper. I think that we had put in there like in June.
Right.
Because we'll have to actually go through the bid process. We'll have to put it in the paper, put the bids out. I don't know how long it takes. We have to do all that. Plus, then we also have to order them, and how long is it going to take for them to come in?
Right.
And then Elkins is working with all other counties in Missouri, you know, that are looking at it also. So they're going to have time to be able to come and train us so we can train the poll workers. And in December is when we're going to start hitting it for the March election.
But you'd be using the current machines for a potential August election or November election? Or?
For this year. If a special election was called, we would probably, yes, have to use the equipment we have now. We do not know of anything. The only thing we know of coming up is April, but that doesn't
So we could
mean-
do it, we can do a 6-month contract.
Yes.
Well,
For-
but then-
They have offered that to do a 6-month contract. So, you know, if the schools, Jeff City, Cole County, you know, if anything is put on the ballot any more in 15, we'd probably have to use equipment we have if we wait, you know, until June or whatever to order. So that, I mean, I haven't heard of anything being special on the ballot, but that doesn't mean something won't be called.
The annual maintenance, almost 24,000.
If we don't get it and machine breaks down, then how much does it cost to fix them generally?
I don't
Right.
know. That would be something I could go find out real quick from Dawn.
What I was trying to figure out is if we have, you know, how many machines do you have break at each election? 3 or 4, and if it costs $2,000 to fix them, we pay $6,000 or $8,000 to fix them, get rid of the $24,000 service contract, and we eat it for a year. Any service we have to have, or
I think this is on the new equipment.
That's on the new,
I think so.
is it on here?
I'd be well, if we know we're gonna get the new machines
Yeah,
for
we're-
sure, I'd be
yeah.
almost
Is it on
willing
that
to
letter, Ethan?
I thought.
take our
I
chances
thought it
on
was
it.
in here.
Depends on how many they got that need repaired
That's
right
after
now.
you
though.
Yeah.
to the-
Those-
After the last.
Those should be covered
your
already
12
though, on the
months.
last
Current
contract.
maintenance is that.
Well, it should be.
Together.
I mean, why are they sitting over there needing repaired right now? Why are
Sorry.
they sitting there needing repair right now? How come they haven't been shipped off under the prior contract?
They have.
Okay, so everything
That-
we've got now.
Everything we
is-
have now
works.
should be under, they have some machines that need to be fixed, but that should be under last year's maintenance, because they were taken down before the November election, but they have to be fixed before April. But if we have any that break down, like when we're testing the machines for April, that's what happened in November. We went over before the November election. When we actually did our official testing on them, there were problems with them. So we had to take them, rush them down there to be fixed.
How many?
I think we have 4 extra, and 3 of the 4 had to be worked on. And then some of them they brought back, and then Elkins provided us an extra machine that they had down there because they couldn't fix one of our machines, and we like to have 4 extras here so if something does happen. So, I mean, they should be fixed, but if the same thing happens to us in April, we go over to do our official testing and there's a problem with 3 or 4 of them and we have to run them down to Elkins to be fixed, we don't have anything to fix them. And the DRE Edge machines are the handicap machines that we only have to use in federal elections. So we're not concerned about them in April because we're not required to use those in the April election. It's just the Optech, the optical scan machines. But then if we drop our handicap voting machines warranty, then we can't get it back. And we won't need them in 15, but we'll need them in 16. And if they continue to break down at the pace they are, I'm sure we'll have some that will need to be fixed in 16.
What I had given you, it's about 14,250.
For the whole year?
Well, and depending on if we move to a different machine, then you'd be paying it for no reason.
Yeah.
Right, especially on the DREs, if we're not
you know, if we are going to new machines, there is absolutely no reason to purchase that. So, maintenance agreement on those.
Would it be wiser to do it just for 6 months then, just to cover us through the April election? And then let it lapse?
If you know that you're gonna purchase new equipment, then that would make sense to only do the 6-month one. And that would get us through the April election. But then if a special election is called, then
Unfortunately,
how-
It's a whole lot of
we have
ifs.
to do a year to cover our backsides in case we don't go with the new ones. Because we haven't even, did you look at the new machines that they're proposing?
That's what they had here that one day.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't look at them, but were those bid out? I know you had a question, did they ever get answered?
Well, I mean, I know you guys like Elkins but
right, and I know Steve has talked to, I think it's on that email too, the amount that Atkins is also proposing, is on that email also. I mean, we haven't bid anything, we haven't done anything yet. It's just looking into
So
whether or
basically
not.
what you need for us by the 27th is for the maintenance plan.
Right, we need to,
Okay.
I guess we kind of need to know what your plan is. We are getting new voting equipment, we're not getting new voting equipment, so we can figure out what we're gonna do with our maintenance. You know, it's silly to throw out.
I think you're getting new, did we vote to do half this year and half next year?
I don't think
Or was
anything was
that-
voted
no,
on,
it
it was,
wasn't,
it
okay.
was discussed.
Okay.
So it's like, well, we need to kind of know which way you're headed, so we know what to do over there. And I think Steve would like, you know, if you guys have questions, he'll be glad to get on an agenda. But we have to know by, you know, Tuesday, and he can't be here on Tuesdays. So it's like, if we need to get on the agenda, we need to do it, you know, either Thursday or whenever your next agenda is. I know it's too late to get on a Wednesday agenda because it's now Tuesday, so.
what would be, I mean, I'm more apt to, if we do decide to purchase these, I'm more apt to purchase them at the last half of the year. And then we wait till the legislature gets through and see if they can appropriate any money for the voting machines.
I guess that
Anyway,
would be
how
kind of.
long would that take you to do the training and stuff?
Well, I know that what happened in the past when the new equipment we have, or when the equipment we have now was new, Elkin Swires came here and trained us in the office, and then they came back, and then actually we held trainings for the actual poll workers so they could do it hands-on. And you know, I don't have a timeline from Elkins. I can try to find out, you know.
How old is the equipment we've got now, the voting machines?
Are they 10, 12? I can't say
I just-
100%. I have to go back and find out for sure.
I mean, what I'm thinking is that maybe we do the maintenance contract for the year. We look at if we do buy something, I'm thinking we get it in, half of them in by the end of the year, the other half coming directly after that. And then you have, by January 1, you could start training and then have people trained before the April election. Does that give you enough time or not?
You know, I don't know a whole lot about Jennifer's job, so I do not know. Once we put it out in the paper and request bids, how long do you have to give them to respond? Is that a 30-day thing?
Well, we can
whole
make them hold
process is
prices for 6 months or
30 days.
whatever. I mean, we can put in there whatever we want. You know, prices are good for 6 months, and so, but
I can talk to Elkin Swires about that, how long they feel like it would take to get through the whole process of the bidding. How long does it take to get the equipment once the bids have been signed? I have no idea if it takes 90 days for the equipment to be here.
Well, right now, you just need us to approve the service contract for this year for the equipment we've got.
Right, I think that's where we're headed to begin with, is should we get a 6-month? Should we do a 12-month? If we're not getting new equipment, then we definitely want to go for the 12-month. If we're getting new equipment, then we're looking at, you know, the 6-month would be fine. And I know there's a price break for the 6 months. It's not half. You know, they're not giving you a price break at half or anything. I know
Did you
it's
ever figure out what that money was? Was it 24 or was it?
14.
sorry. 24
14.
was the new price of the new software, so I'm not kind of wondering why that went up so much with.
So
maintenance.
$14,000 is what the new maintenance contract is for a year?
With the equipment we've got.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not half, so say it's 9 for 6 months. I mean, if we have a couple machines break down and it costs us $2,000 a piece, I mean, we're probably right at the same money.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back to the email that I actually got.
I don't know.
I don't, like Jeff, I'd almost say let's just approve it for the whole year and then let's start looking at new machine, new equipment and get that done.
I mean, we got a
That's the
minimum
other
of 30
problem.
days to advertise for
Yeah.
bids. Then we got to receive bids, which probably takes another 30 days. And so, you know, you're 60 days out from
Right then.
right now, and so we're at the end of January, so that's
When would you start
February, March.
training, when we get a new equipment in, how much time do you need to train people for a March election next year?
Last time when we just, I mean, it would be, we used St. Joe's Cathedral and we used the Undercroft. And then we set up chairs and we had the equipment set up around the outside of the building, and then we had just a discussion on what all this blah blah blah, you know, and then we actually had them actually use the machine, and we did that over 2 days.
Okay.
But you're looking at 150 people at the minimum that would need to come in and be trained. So I don't know if we would have to, I think we did it over 2 days. It's like you can either come on this day or this day. You know,
So they kind of do it fairly close to the election time
Okay,
too, so nobody.
okay.
Right, yeah, we don't want to do that in November and not have an election until March.
Okay.
And you'd probably want to do it right after the first of the year. We'd want to do it just so it's kind of, we'd probably have to have that and then another refresher right before the election. So I would think we would want to do our testing, maybe, or not testing, I'm sorry. We'd want to do our training like maybe in the beginning of January. And then we'd have like a refresher when it got closer. Would be what I would say. But I don't know, like I said, with Elkins, they provide this service to more than just us. So if they have 20 counties all going to new equipment, we would have to be able to work around some of their scheduling too. I just don't know either from Elkins, once we do the order, I have no idea how long it will take for it to come in. If it's, we need 30 days and another, so 60 days, and then it takes 90 days for the equipment to come in.
Are we going with
We're looking
Elkins?
at
Is that
5 months.
That's who we've chosen, or?
Not
Oh,
necessarily,
okay.
no. I'm
Okay.
just throwing that out there because Elkins is who we have
Okay.
now. I know he also looked and talked to Adkins and ES&S. I guess I shouldn't say Elkins. Any company that we would go with, do we need 90 days to get our equipment in? I don't know. I would have to talk to them to see.
And I know Jennifer is
Why don't-
working on that, and so we can always ask for the
Yeah.
timeline and training for
I
them.
mean, it could be a 5-month ordeal, or it might be a 3-month, I don't know. Without talking to
Well, we
the
can
companies.
approve the service contract now, if
Well,
that's what you needed.
We
I
don't
think
have
they-
a contract, do we?
As far as I know,
We need a
As far as I
contract. We
know,
need Jill to look over it and
he's-
put it on the
Okay,
agenda for next
okay.
Tuesday.
right, I mean,
Okay.
Steve has the
Okay.
warranty information over there that needs a signature
And next
before we.
Tuesday's the deadline.
Yes.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
so we could, yeah,
We can do it on Tuesday.
Yeah,
then
do
if
it.
we have that. So
get
we
the
can
service
just do that
contract to
service.
Jill.
Yeah, we have, you want me to give a copy to Jill? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
and then we'll just put it on the agenda next Tuesday.
Okay. Okay.
We got it in the budget, right?
Yeah, should be in the
Yeah, it
budget,
should be in
right?
the budget,
Okay.
yes.
Let's just do it for a year and then we'll
Yeah,
Because we could change our mind on the voting machine.
yeah, I just think we need some time to look and see.
Especially if anything may change.
Yeah,
legislation.
Well, and Sam, you don't, I told the other ones, this happened a few months ago, we were looking into electronic versus paper voting machines.
Yeah, and I know that's when Mark Ellinger was,
And I talked to
put-
the Secretary of State's office,
yeah,
and she told me too, we might wanna hold off because they're thinking there's going to be an appropriation
mhm.
to pay for those machines. And I don't know, she's talking about the 2016 fiscal year, so that would be appropriated this spring.
This spring, okay. So it would be worth our while to kind of wait.
Check it out.
Yeah, okay.
I think we were just mainly worried about, should we
Having
get
be-
that?
being
Should we-
covered.
You know, should we pay the cost or not for that warranty? So-
Okay, we'll decide next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
Will you need Steve
We'll
here?
need donuts and coffee.
I mean, he will not be here on Tuesday.
No,
so
I
didn't
don't, I
know
don't
if
think we
you-
would need, I don't think
Just
we
to
would
sign
need
off
him. I
on
think
the
it's just,
warranty.
yeah,
Get the contract to Jill
Jill.
first, so she
Yeah.
can look over and make sure there's nothing in there.
okay,
Should be the same one we've used, but. just
Right, it should be
give
the
her time to
same
look
one
at, Cause we've been
always.
throwing a lot of stuff on her desk.
yeah,
The day of or 5 minutes before our meeting, we need to get away from
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Anything else? Move we adjourn?
Is that a question or is that a motion?
Move we adjourn.
Second. Staying in recess till 3:30 o'clock? 4:30?
Till 4:30.
I was like 3:30. Sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I do have a huge box of pay forms for you guys to sign.
Anybody want
Or I can use your
Smith Brothers licorice cough
Yes.
drops? These are,
If these are all what we just approved today, stamp them, it's fine with me.
Hey, did you guys sign these knowing
Debbie?
that we appropriated all this, or?
No, that's just saying that they have to get us a contract and then we have to approve it. It's not saying that we're giving it to them yet either.
It's specifying the amount, and that's, isn't it? Yeah, they're all specifying the amounts.
It says what we have.
just,
Stamp them,
yeah.
all the rest of these
Oh.
signatures.
Okay,
It's up to you,
Debbie,
Stan.
No.
it says what we have budgeted for them, right?
Yes,
And that,
Says it's been allocated.
yes.
yeah, well, it didn't say we approved a contract with them though.
No. I do
So,
have the contracts all on there for the 27th.